Hello, respected viewers. I'm George from Ireland. I'm in front of Ham House in London. So we're just 2 minutes walk from the River Thames, which I'll show you in a minute. So Ham House takes its name not from the flesh of a swine, but from the nearby village of Ham. But in Anglo-Saxon, Ham could just mean farm or village. There's so many place names with H-A-M as the second syllable, well, like Fulham or Petersham, well, that's the third syllable. Balham, too many to mention. This one, and usually if it's not the first syllable, it's just that the H is silent, like Fulham, not Fulham, or Birmingham. Anyway, so a house was built here in 1610 for Vavasour, who was an English courtier, and it was under the reign of King James I of England, who was also James VI, King of Scots. Anyway, the property then passed from him to William Murray, a Scots courtier, who was given the title of the Earl of Dysart. So the whole area is known as the Dysart. If you're getting the number 65 bus from Richmond upon Thames to Kingston upon Thames, your stop for this house is the Dysart, which is somewhere the other side of this house. You can't see it. Even if you go to the other side of the house, you can't see it because there's a walled garden. But it's beyond that, and then you'll have to walk around here. So it's a delightfully rustic island, as it were, in London, because there's just so much greenery, probably a mile in either direction. There are very few houses around here. There is the German school not too far away. Anyway, so the Lord Dysart's family, several generations of them, owned it well into the 20th century. So although the house is 1610, it has been extensively renovated and enlarged. There's an H-shaped section of it. You can go in it. It's got a lot of original artwork. It doesn't have that much furniture in it. You see these busts of famous people out front, and indeed the walls, they're almost all males. I'm not sure if they're all real people, perhaps some of them are imaginary. So you can pay to go on a guided tour. Even at night, occasionally there are ghost tours. It claims to be the most haunted residence in the British Isles. But then again, quite a few properties claim to have more revenants than anywhere else. Anyway, so it's fantastic the way the major part of the house is almost untouched since 1610. It's been, as I say, it's been renovated a bit, but faithfully to its 17th century conception. Wasn't burnt down, wasn't demolished, and so on. There you can see Neptune out front, or is it supposed to be Old Father Thames, because we're so close to the Thames, holding the globe. And there's even a bit of a ha-ha. I'll show you in a minute. You see here this a ditch. Now, Capability Brown, or Lancelot Brown, as his name was in the 18th century, was a famous landscape gardener. And he came from somewhere in the English Midlands, I can't quite remember where. So he didn't start out wealthy at all, okay, very lowly, but he was an outstanding landscape gardener, and he was very much in demand by the aristocracy. So he died a very wealthy man. In modern terms, he would have been a multimillionaire. And in the 18th century, it was extraordinarily difficult to make it if you didn't have an advantageous start in life. But the idea of the ha-ha is, here you are in your manicured lawn garden, and you can see deer out here, but the deer can't come in, which is great, because otherwise they would be defecating on the lawn, eating the flowers and so on. Or the other way is the deer can't escape because it's too much for them to leap over. But from the house, you can't see that because of the angle. If you're up high, you wouldn't see there's a ditch there, how they can not get out or cannot get in, whichever way you want to look at it. And that's why it's angled this way. It's not too big, but of course can't be so small that they could leap over it. Of course, originally it would have been deeper. Every time it rained, a little bit of mud washed into it, so it's gradually filled up over the centuries. So we'll turn around and you'll see that is Old Father Thames. So that was more like a motorway in the old days, because often faster and safer to travel by the river than it was by land, because the roads had scarcely been repaired since Roman times. They're very bockety, muddy, sometimes waterlogged. You were running the gauntlet of highwaymen. Just occasionally people try and rob you on the river, but the thing is, it's more difficult for them to get away as well. So they were less likely to do so. So if you're coming down from London, you could come down by boat. And of course, where we are now, this would have been regarded as Surrey. So it was outside London, it was the countryside. and the other side is the county of Middlesex. That's where Twickenham is now. So well worth going around at night with most of the lights off, feeling decidedly spooky. That is Ham House, which is an absolute gem of 17th century architecture.